Welcome to the Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel. I am Charles Odell, and this is your primary resource for everything manufactured housing. Whether you are tackling a full remodel like the one you see here, or just looking for honest advice on repairs and financing, we provide the data and technical deep dives you need to succeed. Our mission is simple: to help you save money and improve your home through first principles logic and transparent cost breakdowns. For the full technical guides and even more resources, visit us at mobilehomefriend.com.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today, we are looking at mobile home sizes, based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com.
And we are so glad you're here for this one, because understanding the real size of a mobile home, well, it's one of the most important things for any buyer. It changes everything, from what you'll pay to where you can even put the thing. Today, we're going to make sure you've got all the facts.
Exactly. You see a home advertised as, say, 16 by 80. But what on earth does that actually mean? So many people learn the hard way that there's a huge gap between the numbers on a sales sheet and the real livable space you get. So let's jump in and clear up all that confusion. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've laid this out to walk you through everything, step by step. We're going to start with the basics, then put single and double wides head to head. After that, we'll uncover those sneaky little rules that can trip you up, see how size really impacts the price, and then we'll finish up with a super powerful checklist to guide your purchase. All right, first things first, the basics. Nailing this foundation is absolutely key to making a smart, confident decision later on.
It really all comes down to one simple question: how many big pieces are being trucked to your lot? Whether it's one solid piece, 2 sections, or even 3 that could join together on sites, that's what defines these main categories and ultimately the home's width.
Okay, so now that we've got the categories down, let's put the 2 most popular types in the ring: single wides and double wides. We're not just going to look at their dimensions, but what it's actually like to live in them day to day. First up, the classic single wide. This guy is built and moved all in one piece. Today's models are usually between 14 and 18 feet wide and can stretch up to 80 feet long. That gives you a really functional space, typically somewhere between 750 and 1,050 square feet. And then we have the double wide. Like the name says, it shows up in 2 separate sections that get married together right on your property. This is what allows for a much wider home. We're talking up to 36 feet and a whole lot more square footage, often starting around 1,000 and going way up from there. And you can really feel that practical difference when you look at the floor plans. With a single wide, you can definitely sometimes get that long hallway vibe, where every single room just branches off one central corridor. Yeah, totally. But that extra width you get in a double wide, it just gives designers so much more freedom. It's what allows for those big, open concept layouts that everybody wants now. It makes the whole place feel so much more like a traditional, site-built house. All right, now for the most crucial part of this whole explainer, what we call the gotchas. This is the insider info, the little details the sales brochures conveniently leave out. Getting this right can save you from a very expensive mistake. Okay, I want you to burn this number into your brain. 13 feet, 6 inches. This is the absolute, non-negotiable maximum height a manufactured home can be to legally travel on the road. And that's measured from the ground all the way to the tippy top of the roof. It's a federal limit that dictates pretty much everything about the home's design, especially how high the ceilings can be. And here's another huge one: advertised size versus the actual size. The dimensions you see on a sales sheet often aren't the true measurements of the home's frame, or what we call the chassis. The bottom line is, you have to know exactly what they're including in that number. So, why the different numbers? Well, here's why. That advertised length, it often includes the big towing hitch on the front, which comes right off. The width might be counting the roof overhangs, and things like bay windows, they stick out, but they aren't part of the actual structural frame. The only way to get the true size is to measure the chassis yourself. And this might be the biggest gotcha of them all. It doesn't matter how perfect a home is if the park or the city says no. As we noted on the Mobile Home Friend website, checking those local park rules and zoning laws first is non-negotiable. They can have super strict limits on everything from width to the slope of your roof. It's actually pretty fascinating to see how designers have creatively worked within that 13-foot 6-inch height limit over the decades. We've gone from older homes with 7-foot flat ceilings to the 80s when vaulted ceilings were introduced, and now it's pretty common to see 9-foot flat ceilings, which make the homes feel just incredibly spacious inside. Okay, let's talk about the bottom line. Let's talk money. We're diving into how size really impacts the final price tag. And as you're about to see, it's a whole lot more complicated than just square footage. So here's the question we get all the time. Is a double wide always more expensive than a single wide? I mean, it seems obvious, right? Bigger must mean more expensive. But the reality is a little more nuanced than that.
See, the total price you pay is really a mix of three main things. First, there's the base cost for each section of the home. Second, you have the cost to actually transport and set up each of those sections. And third, and this is a big one, is all the optional upgrades. If you want the full technical breakdown of this, you can check out the post on mobilehomefriend.com.
And this quote from our research really just says it all perfectly. A buyer can load up a single wide with 9-foot ceilings, a gourmet kitchen, fancy flooring, and by the time they're done, its final price tag is actually higher than a basic no-frills double wide. The big takeaway here is that the amenities you choose matter just as much as the size when it comes to the final cost.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So for our last section, we're pulling it all together into an actionable checklist for you. Think of this as your key to making a truly confident purchase.
Okay, let's run through this. It's your homework. First, get out there and verify the exterior dimensions at the chassis, not just from the sales brochure. Second, confirm how many sections there are. And so, critically, check those park and zoning rules before you fall in love with a home. Right. Then make sure it's actually transportable if you ever think you might move it. Then get inside with a tape measure. Check the ceiling heights and room dimensions for yourself. And last but not least, make sure the square footage they're advertising actually lines up with the floor plan. This checklist right here, it's your best friend.
So, there you have it. We've decoded the lingo, we've compared the options, and we've pulled back the curtain on all those hidden rules. You now have the tools you need to look right past the advertised numbers and understand the real size and value of a home. So, the only question left is, which one is the perfect fit for your future? Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head on over to mobilehomefriend.com. And don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomefriend.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.